Good morning, orchid loving YouTubers. Well, it looks like the sun won. I came out early this morning and to take a look at some of the orchids, especially the vandas, even the ones that were under the umbrella. That's the old umbrella that it was under, that they were under. So I hung them up in here temporarily uh, just to take a look. That sun is brutal. But you know what? The good thing about orchids, you can always buy more to replace them. So I'm not going to stress. I knew the sun was pretty bad out here. And the vanda that I was waiting for to bloom took a bad beating under the umbrella. Can you believe that? I guess the UV protection on the umbrella had worn off, and some of the evergreens. That sun does not play. My roses just totally dry them up. You know, every day I don't have time to come out every day to look because I work. I have to pay the bills. And my Rinko stylist took a little beating. So I called the contractor and he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry I can't get out this week or next week. You know, can you give me some ideas on how to protect them until you get here, or you know, whatever." Even my Nobly cakeys are screaming. Can you believe that? And they love the sun. I guess they love that afternoon sun, not that brutal evening 3, 4, 5 o'clock sun. They're not. I don't know. They're just taking a beating. A lot of them are taking a beating. So I stripped the umbrella off. I hooked some bungee and some hooks to the top of the umbrella, and I installed one of my original shades that I wanted back here, but for some reason I let my contractor talk me out of it. Oh, the umbrella will be fine. But guess what? He's gonna replace all the orchids that are dead or dying, so I don't have to come out of pocket. He promised, and I know he will, because I pay him well. Okay, so he can replace everything in his garden with what I pay him as a handyman. And I hooked one here on the security bars temporarily, one there on the umbrella, and I drilled a hole at the top of the enclosure for another attachment. And it doesn't look bad. And this is what I wanted originally back here. But the space is so small, and the cells are pretty big. I think one will be okay, along with some shade cloth. I'll just double up on the shade cloth. Take a look at it. Hopefully the sun will come out this weekend and I can see exactly how it falls. And with this door closed to the enclosure, the back side took a beating. The orchids on the back side took a beating. Look at that. And they're screened there. So this morning I put a piece of shade cloth on the back. This shade cloth must be 30% UV protection or whatever. So I'll double up on the shade cloth for these little guys here that are on the door. I feel so sorry for them. They're so tiny and they're struggling already because so small. But I'm going to do the best I can to protect them. Who wants to repurchase orchids over and over and over? But you do learn from your mistakes, and I've learned that don't let anybody talk you out of your original plan because they're lazy. You understand what I'm saying? Because they're thinking for you. Don't let people think for you. Think for yourself. But because he promised to replace every orchid that died, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so for some reason, the cats weren't affected. I guess they love that light. But if I put them on the outside in that sun, they're dead. But behind a little thin screening, they're okay. And I guess they're closer east of the building than west of the building. So they don't get that brutal sun. But this is what I'm doing today. And I'll get it done. I'm just going to install one shade. And I'll have another working table because the umbrella is serving a purpose right now. But he did tell me how I can fix that better. So I'm going to go to Home Depot and purchase something a little better and a little sturdier, because that umbrella is not going to get it. But for now, just to give me some idea how I want the shade positioned, that's the purpose that it's going to serve with the small blocks. I had those blocks left over for plant stands. I was going to create a plant stand out of it. So it's the weight for the umbrella pole. Okay, so that's an update on my sad garden today, but we'll get it together. I am not worried. Thanks for watching.